Hello beautiful souls and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today as we are going to take some time today to review 2021 and just go through some journal prompts and some really interesting elements that you can use to help just release and let go of this year. So let's get started. So today's video is going to be nice and gentle and relaxed because this year and the last couple of years have just been so intense that I actually would invite you to come from a space of self-compassion, self-love, just being really gentle with yourself. So even the journal prompts are nice and gentle so that you can look at the last year and really honor it and understand it, but at the same time come into a space where you don't feel pressured or overwhelmed. So what's really interesting about 2021 is that it was a 5-year and soul plan, which is the energy of spirit and freedom. And as I say that, you might be thinking, well, this year I didn't feel very free. I didn't really feel like I got to go out there or express myself. But interestingly, the energy is actually spirit and freedom. It's not human and freedom or earth and freedom. It's about the freedom that you can receive from connecting with your spirit and expressing that, and how actually there's no boundary when it comes to expressing your soul or your spirit because it's an intangible thing. It's not something that can be measured in the same way as something physical or tangible can be. So you might find that for 2021, actually the experience that you had was becoming freer in your expression of yourself or in your spirit. Maybe you explored things you haven't explored for years. You know, maybe you connected with your inner child, or maybe you took your passion or your hobby and turned it into a business or a sideline business to your career in the hope of moving fully over to it. Or maybe you just tuned more into your religion or to your belief system and your understanding of life, because that's really what this energy and this year therefore can bring you. So it's really interesting to see how it shows up. But the shadow side, and I'm talking collectively rather than if you had this in your chart, but if you do have this in your chart, then you may have felt 2021 more than others, for example. But the shadow of this energy collectively, interestingly, is this hermit quality. It's not just about going within and connecting to your spirit. It's actually about becoming this hermit, withdrawing from society, hiding away. And very much we can say that with all of the lockdowns and things, I think all of us have had some kind of experience of being the hermit this year. So interestingly, both sides of this energy really came through in 2021. So for some of you may have found that the hermit life really called you in a little bit more. And for some of you may have found that it was forced upon you, but at the same time, you went into that space, that hermit life. So it's really interesting to reflect how just the collective energy of the year has impacted and affected us throughout 2021. I 100% have been a massive hermit, so I'm hoping that in 2022 I will come out of that space a little bit more, because as wonderful as it is to be in that space, it isn't always healthy to only be in that space. It's important to have a balance of everything. So I just wanted to start by going through some journal prompts, which I'm going to share with you, and I will put them on the screen, hopefully here, for you guys to be able to read and to pause the video. So all you'll really need is a pen and a piece of paper, maybe a couple of pieces of paper actually, and I would definitely say, if possible, have some colored pens and some fun colors at that. You know, we often write in black or blue ink, and whilst that's great, this isn't a formal thing. This is an invitation for reflecting and letting go of things. So I just invite you instead to think, what kind of color represents letting go of things for me? What kind of color represents keeping things or gratitude for things? What kind of color is quite neutral for me? And if you don't have any colored pens or pencils, that's fine, but just if you do, I just invite you to bring a little bit of creativity into what we're doing, because it doesn't have to be boring. So in order to do the journal prompts, I would like to invite you to start off by drawing a timeline of the year, starting in January, of course, and ending in December, and plotting each month, and just plotting the major things that happen to you each month. If nothing major happened, obviously you can just plot something minor, and if it's the same for a couple of months, that's also fine. You know, if it's like lockdown, or worked, that's absolutely fine. But just plotting things that happened that were more challenging or difficult for you on a personal level, whether that's mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. What was something that was a bit more challenging for you this year? And just notice if there's any themes that come through for each month. Maybe the start of the year had a particular theme, and by the end of the year you're noticing something different. Just really invite you to be completely open and honest in this space, and as I said earlier, bring in an element of being gentle and compassionate with yourself. This is not about judging yourself or feeling hate towards this year. Instead, it's just about looking looking at what was challenging so that we can then release and heal it. So you may want to pause the video as you do that and then come back when you're ready. So now that you have your timeline of the year and all of the major events, and you've looked at any patterns or anything that has come up that is particularly interesting maybe, or something you hadn't thought of or realized, the first journal prompt that we are going to start with is, what did 2021 teach you? So what did you learn this year? What has it taught you? How has it brought something into your awareness that maybe you weren't aware of before? And that doesn't have to be something negative. You might look at your timeline and think, well, actually what I've learned from this year doesn't come from the challenging situations. That's absolutely fine. You can just put that to one side. But if you can look at those and think, okay, what did I learn? What was something that came through from that has made me wiser or stronger? Then that's really great. So what did 2021 teach you? Then I just invite you to look at, what are you leaving in 2021? What is something that you experienced, or that you did, or that you didn't do, or that you felt or you thought that you would like to leave in 2021? Is there something that you feel like, actually, that isn't serving me? That is not what I want to take into 2022. That's not the energy that I want to bring into that year. It's not what I want to create or manifest for next year. So what are you leaving behind in 2021? And again, you can pause the video whilst you're journaling. You can take as long as you like to write these. There's no time restraint or anything like that. Please just go until you feel like you have released everything, because if you don't release everything through journaling, then something will still be buried inside and you won't totally feel the sense of peace that we're aiming for at the end of this video. So after you finish that journal prompt, the next one is, what are you taking with you into 2022 from 2021? Is there something that you learned this year, or something that you experienced that you would like to take with you into next year? Or is it something you believe or you thought about, or that you healed from this year? Like, what would you actually like to keep from 2021 and take into 2022 with you? And it's entirely up to you. Again, it could be the wisdom that you learned from these experiences, or it could be something completely different that you want to take with you. Again, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual level, whatever that may be. Maybe you've started a new meditation practice, or I've just started a new exercise practice after literally not exercising for like 2 years. And it feels so good. I'm really enjoying it. So I want to take that with me into 2022 and keep doing that and enjoying moving my body, because when you work from home, it can be quite sluggish and you don't really do much. So it's quite nice to be active and to feel those endorphins and to feel really good again. So for me personally, that's something I want to continue and take into 2022. The next journal prompt is, what am I healing from 2021? Is there something, maybe major or some smaller things accumulated, that has been a running theme or a pattern that you've noticed in your timeline that you have or are healing from? What are you healing from? And sometimes it's really good to just name it, you know, and to just say, okay, this is what I'm healing from. And you don't have to have completed or healed it completely by the start of 2022. That's completely fine wherever you are in that journey, whether you're just starting that healing process or whether you're finishing it. And if you've already healed it and you're like, wow, I feel amazing, I did have this, I've dealt with it, I've healed it, and I'm feeling really great, then you can just change that question to, what have I healed in 2021? The next journal prompt is really about setting your intentions for 2022. So I'm just going to invite you to really think, what do you actually want to call in and manifest for 2022? What do you really want your life to look like this coming year? Is there a difference to this year that we've just finished, or is it going to be more of the same? What is something you really want to call in? And it could be lots of different things. It could be just one thing. You may wish to go back to your new moon prompts from the recent new moon and see if there was something from there that you'd like to include in that. But really, this is your opportunity to think, what am I really wanting to create in 2022? Do I really want to bring that in with me? And I will have a video coming next week which is going to be talking about the energy of 2022 from a soul plan perspective. So you may want to watch that to see if it aligns with your intentions and the things that you're ready to call in and co-create for your next year. Your potential is however far you wish to take it. And so I always say, start with something that you know you can achieve, and then add as many things as you feel you can actually accomplish without overdoing it. We don't want any burnout in 2022. And then you can really go from there. And sometimes you can set a time limit. I always say add a little bit of time, because then there's less pressure. But if you're somebody who loves pressure, by all means, give yourself a time limit that feels good for you. And yeah, just really feel into it. What would you like to have happen in 2022? The next journal prompt for you is, do my beliefs support my goals for 2022? So Does your mindset and do your beliefs actually support what you've just laid out in your intentions? If your intention is to manifest, £5,000 a month, do you believe that you can manifest that? Do you believe you're worthy of receiving that? And if you do believe you're worthy of receiving that, do you believe you're worthy of maintaining and keeping that each month? Or do you believe that once you get money, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't have it, and you spend it all? So what are your beliefs going on there? And there's always going to be layers to that. So that could be a more extended question that you hold for yourself. And you again may want to pause the video so you can do it properly and really tune into it. So what are your intentions? Do they match up with your beliefs? And again, be honest, but I invite you to be really gentle with yourself. If your beliefs do not match your intentions, that is okay. We will do some EFT shortly, and I will show you some things that you can do with that to help release things that are not serving you and not going to help you manifest your intentions. Are you being loving with yourself, with your intentions and with your beliefs? Because if you're not, that disparity is going to cause a disharmony, which means you won't be able to manifest what you're calling in. So I feel as though this is a really great point to do the EFT. And with EFT, it works best if you use your language, your feelings, your words. So you can take either something that you want to heal, something that you want to let go of, or you can take one of your beliefs and you can change the language for what I'm going to give you as an example. And I just invite you to make some notes of how do you feel. So for example, if it were abundance you wanted to manifest in 2022, remembering to be very specific, so financial abundance, and we've talked about your beliefs. If your beliefs are, I'm not worthy of earning £5,000 or dollars a month, then you might want to say, well, why do I feel that way? What are the feelings I have connected to that make me feel that? Is there a belief that I have, or is there a reason that I have that belief? Is there something that stems from my childhood or an experience I've had that makes me believe that I'm not worthy? Maybe it's even something that somebody else has judged in your family, for example, of like, oh, you can't earn that much money. You're just, an assistant, or you just do that as a job, So it could be something else from someone else that you've absorbed as your own belief, as a result, as your own limitation from them. So really just take a moment to think about what you want to focus on. I'm going to do one focused on releasing blocks. So I'll do a slightly more generalized one to start, and I would just invite you to change any language that I use that does not resonate or feel true to you to a word that you do feel true. So it might be worth just watching the first one through and then going back and doing it, just in case you want to change the language. But I just really invite you to try it and to just see how it feels. And again, you can do this anytime, anywhere, and that's why it's such a great tool. So we always start with the karate chop point, or the side of the hand, and you just can use 2 or 3 fingers to tap that point. And we're going to say, even though 2021 was a really difficult year, I know I will be okay. Now, if it feels more aligned for you to say, I still love myself truly and completely, or I think I'll be okay, you pick whatever language works for you. And if 2021 wasn't difficult for you, if it was maybe upsetting or stressful, you change that word for you, but I'm going to use that as an example. So we say it 3 times. So even though 2021 was really difficult and challenging, I know that I will be okay. Even though 2021 was really difficult and challenging, I know that I will be okay. I've already said it 3 times, but we'll do it in a row just because it makes sense. Even though 2021 was really difficult and challenging, I know that I will be okay. Now we're tapping on the eyebrow. 2021 was really hard for me. The side of the eye, I really struggled. Under the eye, I just found everything felt really heavy. Under the nose, and I felt very stressed. On the chin, and I didn't really enjoy it. On the collarbone, I won't tap too much on this side because you'll just hear that in the mic. It was a really challenging year. And then under the armpit, I didn't really enjoy 2021. The wrist, it was really challenging. Top of the head, and I just don't feel great. I'm now just going to tap through the points again, saying another set of feelings and things connected to it, and you can again change it for whatever works for you, but I'm not going to say which point I'm tapping, so you'll just need to keep watching the video. I just felt really stressed in 2021. Everything was just really challenging. It just felt like an uphill struggle. Anytime I tried to do anything new or interesting, it was blocked. There was always another lockdown or another limitation. I didn't really feel like I had any freedom, and it was just really stressful and difficult. And I couldn't see my family or my friends. I couldn't visit the places I wanted to. It was just a really difficult year. I felt really uncomfortable because I just couldn't do what I wanted to do. And I just felt like my life was on hold as a result. Everything feels paused. Everything I wanted to do, I can't do. And I just feel really blocked. It was such a challenging year. but I know that I will be okay. This is just one part of my life, and I will be okay. I have all of the strength, all of the wisdom, all of the love at my fingertips to take all of the blessings I can from this and to share them with the ones I love, because I know that I will be okay. Everything will return to a new form of normal eventually, and I will be able to do all of the things I love and enjoy with all of the people I love, and it will feel amazing. So I can just let all of those challenging things, those difficult things go. Great, just take a moment to just tune into yourself, see how you feel. If you still feel that you need to release some more connecting to the year in general, then by all means go back and redo that. Everything's timestamped below, so it's really easy to just go back to each point. And if you feel like, actually I feel okay after that, then we'll move on to something more specific. So I'm just using the example of financial abundance and having an abundance block. If you have something completely different that you want to focus on, please just change the language that I'm using. So we'll start with the EFT for an abundance block. And what you want to do with EFT is to take a moment to tune in and ask yourself, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much is this affecting me? 10 being the worst. Once you've tuned in and you've got that number, that's your starting point. It's okay that we haven't done it with the previous one because that's just a very general tapping, but this is obviously a more specific one, so we do want to really understand where we are on that scale, so we have our starting point. So just tune in and ask yourself, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much do I think I have an abundance block? Especially when it comes to financial abundance. And then when you've got your number, we're open and we'll start with, even though I have a financial abundance block which stops me from earning $5,000 or pounds a month, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. And if that feels too much for you, you can say, I know I'll be okay, or I trust that I can let this go, or anything else that springs to mind. Doesn't have to be that. Even though I have a financial abundance block which stops me from earning £5,000 a month, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have a financial abundance block that stops me from earning £5,000 a month, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. I don't deserve to earn £5,000 a month. That's a lot of money, and I don't know how to handle that much money. What would I do with it if I earned it? How would I spend it? Or how would I save it? That's overwhelming for me. I'm not sure I'm ready to earn £5,000 a month. Just me? Little old me? Surely not. Do I deserve that? I don't think so. I'd be better off keeping it small, barely earning anything, just staying small, playing small. That's safer for me. That's my comfort zone. So I think I'll stay there, because £5,000 a month, that just sounds like a lot. I don't even know what I'd do with all of that money. And if I don't know what I'd do with it, I don't know if I should have it, because other people might have a better idea and they might use it more wisely, because I don't know what I'm doing, and therefore I don't deserve it. Other people do, but I don't. So I think I'll just stay small, and I think I'll just keep earning as little as possible and spending either as little or as much as possible, living with this dream, but being completely blocked from receiving it, because I do not deserve £5,000 a month. Who am I to think I can earn that? Okay, just closing your eyes again, tuning in, seeing where you are now on that scale of 0 to 10. And it's really fine if your number has stayed the same or gone up. That's okay. It's totally unique to you. And it might be that you're actually realizing that this block is deeper than you thought. Or you might be going down in the scale and you might think, actually, okay, maybe I'm ready to let this actually go. Maybe I'm ready to heal it and clear it. So we'll go through again. Even though I have a financial abundance block and I don't think I'm worthy of earning £5,000 a month, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have a financial abundance block and I don't think I'm worthy of earning £5,000 a month, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have a financial abundance block and I don't think I'm worthy of earning £5,000 a month, I still deeply and completely love and accept myself. Who am I to ask for £5,000 a month? How would I even earn that? Where would that even come from? I just don't even know how I would get that. In my bank account every month? I surely not. I don't think I'm worthy of that. Successful people earn that much a month. And I'm not successful. Am I? What if I was to be successful? Is that what success means to me? Would it feel good for me to receive £5,000 a month? Yeah, I think it would. And it doesn't matter whether it's from expected or unexpected revenue streams. I think it would feel great to earn £5,000 a month, because I'm really worthy of that. Because ultimately, abundance is my truth. And therefore, I am always abundant. So maybe I'll just let go of anything blocking me from abundance. Maybe I'll just release that. Yeah, that feels good to release that. I'm just letting that block go. Reopening that connection to my divine abundance, to my truth. Because I am so worthy of earning £5,000 a month. I am worthy of earning £5,000 a month. I'm worthy of earning £5,000 a month. I am worthy of earning £5,000 a month. In fact, I'm worthy of earning more than £5,000 a month. I'm worthy of earning more than that. And I am so open to receiving more than £5,000 a month. I'm ready to receive the financial abundance that is my birthright. And I claim that birthright now. Great, just close your eyes, tune in, see how you feel. Again, if you feel like it's stayed the same or it's gone up, go through that tapping again. And again, you can change the language. It might not be self-worth, it might be something else that's blocking you, but these are just examples that you can use and you can adapt to really tune into what you want to release from this year. I'm actually going to be doing an EFT for anxiety video soon, so keep an eye out for that. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already part of our spiritual community, because then you'll be notified as to when that video is released, because that's quite a big topic that I would like to do on its own. But I just want to invite you to try the EFT as a form of release. The other thing I'd like you to do, now that you've got all of your journaling, is the timeline of all the difficult things or the challenging things that you've experienced, plus anything you're leaving in 2021. I invite you to burn those. If you've written it all on the same piece of paper, that's fine. Obviously, we'd like to keep your intentions over 2022, because that's important to have that so you can reflect back and see how you're manifesting and creating that over the year. I would love to invite you to burn anything else, so the timeline of the difficult things and all the other bits that we've journaled, just burn those. Please do so in a safe place. If you have a safe place. If you don't, then you can cut up the paper really small and you can bury it in the garden or in a local area that's safe to do so. Please be mindful of permission and privacy and all those kinds of things, making sure you ventilate when you do that as well. And also just keeping an eye on the flame, staying with it as it's burning, please. I really would love you to be safe. It's really great to bury the ashes once they've burned, because once they're burned and cooled, because that way you can bury them and return them to Mother Earth for her to transmute them back to love. So the next thing we're going to do is get a fresh sheet of paper and draw out a timeline again of 2021, and this time write down all of the blessings that you received this year. What were the good things that happened to you? It doesn't matter how big or how small they are. Maybe you had a lovely phone call with a friend who you haven't seen for a while, or maybe you went for a really nice walk and you spoke to a new neighbor you'd never seen before, or maybe you started a new job and you really love where you're working. Maybe you set up your own business and you feel amazing that you're doing that. Maybe you started exercising again like me and you're like, thank God I can start to fit my clothes again. It can be as big or as small as you like, but I just invite you to take that time to really write that out and to really reflect on the really beautiful things that happened. And you can pause the video again to do that. And then once you have your timeline of all the really good things that happened, all the great things that happened for you this year, I invite you then to write a gratitude list So, you know, it can be, dear universe, thank you so much for all of these beautiful blessings that you brought me in 2021. I really am grateful that I started this new job, or that I had the strength and the courage to set up my own business. And then I just invite you to keep that gratitude list with you. You can pop it on your altar, or you can just have it by the side of your bed. It's something positive that you can reflect on. So you're going to have your intentions for 2022, your positive gratitude list. If you like, you can keep your timeline of all the positive things that happened in 2021, and you're going to keep those together. You can also keep the blessings from 2021 journal prompt in there as well. And those are some things that you can reflect on throughout the year and just see how you're feeling. Maybe in 6 months' time you can come back to those lists and think, okay, have I managed to align with those things? Have I manifested those things? Do I still feel that sense of gratitude for that, or have I got something new I can add to that list? So I just really invite you to keep those somewhere where you're not necessarily going to look at them every day, but you can if you need to. If you need to pick me up, if you're having a stressful, difficult day, you can come back to that and think, do you know what, I was really grateful for that, or I really enjoyed that, and tune back into the gratitude, because that's really going to be such a beautiful, powerful thing. So let me know if you've enjoyed this video in the comments below, and share any of the things that you're grateful for in the comments below. I love being able to connect with you. Does that work? I think it does. God, I'm hungry. And let me know and share any of your gratitude with me. So you might find that for the shadow, really hate how flat my hair's gone now that I've gone outside. What are you taking with you into 2021? And when it's something very specific, but obviously we'd like to keep your intentions